Hi friends, I am Roljan Joske, teach it English, Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalaya. Today I would like to speak to you something about reported speech, or in other words, we can call it direct and indirect speech. I have made the complete reference to high school English grammar and composition by Wren and Martin. We may report the words of a speaker in two ways. We may quote his actual words. This is called direct speech. We may report what he said without quoting his exact words. This is called indirect or reported speech. For example, Rama said, I am very busy now. And when we change it into indirect speech, it becomes like this. Rama said that he was very busy then. A sentence in report speech consists of two parts. A reporting clause, which contains a reporting verb, and the reported clause. Look at the following sentences. I went to visit my grandma last week, said Mamta. Then in the indirect it will be, Mamta said that she had gone to visit her grandma the previous week. In sentence A, we have Mamta's exact words. This is an example of direct speech. In sentence B, sentence is someone is reporting what Mamta said. So before actually we get into the details of report speech, we should know the four kinds of sentences. The first kind of sentence is declarative or assertive sentences. Or rather we must understand that they are all statements. One example is, you are a student, I am a teacher. Second kind is interrogative sentences, that means questions. Are you a student? What's your name? And the third kind is imperative sentences. They express requests, commands, etc. For example, please go out. Stand up. And the fourth kind of sentence is exclamatory sentences. They express our sudden feelings. How beautiful it is. What a nice man he is. Each kind of sentence has slight difference in changing it into indirect speech. It will be noticed that in direct speech, we use inverted commas to mark out the exact words of the speaker. In indirect speech, we do not. It will be further noticed that in changing the above direct speech into indirect, certain changes have been made. Let us look at the various changes. Look at it. Look at the sentences once again. Rama said, comma is there, then inverted commas. I am very busy now. Full stop, inverted commas are closed. But in the indirect, Rama said that he was very busy then. Lots of changes have been added there. We have used the conjunction that before the indirect statement, and that conjunction is often omitted, especially in spoken English. The pronoun I is changed into he. The pronoun is changed in person. The verb am is changed into was. That means present tense is changed into past tense. And in addition, why present is changed into past? There is an additional rule also, which I will deal with it in the coming slides. The adverb now is changed into then. When the reporting or principal verb is in the past tense, all the present tenses of the direct are changed into the corresponding past tenses. That is the rule. If the reporting verb is in past tense only, what happens? The tenses of the direct speech will be changed into corresponding past tenses. If the reporting verb is in present tense, the tenses of the direct speech will not be changed. Okay, they will remain the same. We'll come to it. So a simple present becomes a simple past. For example, he said, I am unwell. In that what happens? He said that he was unwell. I am becomes he was unwell. Simple past tense. A present continuous becomes a past continuous. He said, my master is writing letters. In the indirect, what happens? Past continuous will come. He said that his master was writing letters. A present perfect becomes a past perfect. He said, I have passed the examination. He said that he had passed the examination. As a rule, the simple past in the direct becomes the past perfect in the indirect. Just before we learned that present perfect becomes past perfect. In the same way, simple past also becomes past perfect. Remember this. He said, the horse died in the night. Died in the night. Simple past only. He said that the horse had died in the night. Past perfect. Remember this. Remember, if the listener is mentioned in the direct speech, the reporting verb in the indirect should be changed to told. Look at the example. He said to her, her is the listener. Listener is mentioned in the sentence. He said to her, they will do it. In that case, in the indirect speech, what happens? We are changed said into told. He told her that they would do it. They said to him, we will not play cricket. They told him that they would not play cricket. The tenses may not change if the statement is still relevant or if it is a universal truth. We can often choose whether to keep the original tenses or change them. For example, I know her address, said Gobi. Now also I know her address. It is relevant now also. So the answer can be Gobi said he knows present tense, or you can change it to past also, knew her address. Similarly, the teacher said the earth goes round the sun. It is a universal truth. The teacher said that the earth goes or went round the sun. But it is better you go for present tense because it is a universal truth. If the reporting verb is in the present tense, the tenses of the direct speech do not change. This is very important. For example, he says, I am unwell. He says is in present tense. That is the reporting verb, principal verb, main verb that is in present tense. So what happens? Look at the indirect speech. He says he is unwell. I am unwell becomes he is unwell. Same tense is used in the indirect also. Then he has just said, my master is writing letters. Present perfect tense has said. Okay. So look at the answer. He has just said his master is writing letters. Same tense is used. Present continuous. He tells me the horse died in the night. He tells me, present tense only, simple present only. But in the direct speech, the horse died in the night. There it is simple past tense. So look at the indirect speech. He tells me that the horse died in the night. No change of tense. Tense will remain the same because the reporting verb is tells only, present tense only. That is the rule. The tense will remain the same. No change of tense. Do not change past tense into present also. Okay. Some are confused. The pronouns of the direct speech are changed wherever necessary, so that their relations with the reporter and his hearer rather than with the original speaker are indicated. Observe the following examples. He said to me, I don't believe you. Said to me, listener is there. So what happens? Said becomes told. He told me he didn't believe me. She said to him, I don't believe you. She told him that she didn't believe him. I said to him, I don't believe you. I told him I didn't believe him. I said to you, I don't believe you. I told you I didn't believe you. Then another very important rule is words expressing nearness in time or place are generally changed into words expressing distance. That means in the direct speech, if you find a now, in the indirect it becomes then, here becomes there, ago becomes before, thus becomes so, today becomes that day, Tomorrow becomes the next day or the following day. Yesterday becomes the day before or the previous day. Last night becomes the night before. Last month becomes the month before. Last week becomes the week before. This becomes that. Okay, these becomes those. Such changes take place. So some examples. He says, I am glad to be here this evening. He says that he is glad to be there that evening. These changes do not occur if the speech is reported during the same period or at the same place. If it is reported from the same place and same period of time, it is not compulsory to make such changes also. There is an additional rule. He said, I am glad to be here this evening. He said that he was glad to be here this evening. Suppose it is reported from the same place during the same period of time. Then similarly, this and these are changed into that and these unless the thing pointed out is near at hand at the time of reporting the speech. So coming to the second kind of sentence, that is interrogative sentences, reporting questions. In reporting questions, the indirect speech is introduced by some verbs as asked, inquired, etc. Please note that the conjunction that should not be inserted after the reporting verb while reporting questions. That is very important. Do not insert that when you change questions into indirect speech. It's a big mistake only. Look at the examples. He said to me, what are you doing? That is said is changed into a relevant question word, a relevant reporting verb. Look at it. He asked me because it's a question. Don't insert that after that. Then the question form is changed into statement. What are you doing is changed into here R is coming before you because it's a question. But in the indirect speech, what happens? What I was doing. He asked me what I was doing. Don't write what was I doing. That's wrong only. Make it into a statement. Then at the end, a full stop only. Then, where do you live? Said the stranger. The stranger inquired where I lived. Okay. Where do you live? That is simple present only. That is changed into where I lived. Simple past tense. Then the policeman said to us, where are you going? The policeman inquired where we were going. When the question is not introduced by an interrogative word, that means interrogative words are what, when, where, why, how, they are all interrogative words. We can ask questions without using these words also. For example, are you a student? And such questions give the answer either yes or no. Are you a teacher? Either yes or no will come as the answer. So, when the question is not introduced by an interrogative word, if the question answers either yes or no, the reporting verb is followed by whether or if. We have to insert either whether, WH, teacher, whether, or if. Look at the example. He said, will you listen to such a man? The answer is either yes or no only. So when you report such questions, what happens? Look at the change. He asked them whether, or you can insert if also. Okay, they would listen to such a man. That is important. Then coming to the third kind of questions, sentences, that is reporting commands and requests. In reporting commands and requests, the indirect speech is introduced by some verb expressing command or request, and the imperative mood is changed into the to infinitive. To infinitive means to plus verb. Look at the example. Rama said to Arjun, go away. We can understand that it is a command, it is an order. So Rama ordered, said is changed into ordered. Then what happens, that imperative mood, that order mood is changed into to infinitive, to plus verb. Go away is changed into to go away. Rama ordered Arjun to go away. He said to him, "Please wait till I return." He requested him to wait there till he returned. I return is only a statement. That is not an imperative sentence. That's why it is changed into he returned. Okay? Right. "Call the first witness," said the judge. The judge commanded them to call the first witness. He shouted, "Let me go." He shouted to them to let him go. That means to allow him to go. That's the meaning. He said, "Be quiet and listen to my words." He urged them to be quiet and listen to his words. He said to me, "Let us go for a walk." Let us. Let us means we shall only. We shall. Okay. So it is a suggestion also. There are two ways of reporting such sentences. One is this way, by using that clause. He suggested to me that we should go for a walk. Should go for a walk, because it is a suggestion. Or you can use to infinitive also. He suggested to me to go for a walk. Then look at the next question. He said to them, "Let us do it now." Let us do it now. He said to them only, okay. He suggested to them that they suggested to them only. That's why they is coming. He suggested to them that they should do it then. Then the last kind of sentences, that is reporting exclamatory sentences. In reporting exclamations and wishes, the indirect speech is introduced by some verb expressing exclamation or wish. The words how and what may be changed into very, because those are used to express to what extent or what degree something or somebody is. The exclamation is changed into a statement. Let us see. He said, "Alas, I am undone." In English, alas is an exclamation of sadness. So look at the way how it is changed. Said is changed into exclaimed. He exclaimed sadly. We are adding sadly there because we are not writing alas again there. That expression alas is an expression of sadness. That's why we are using the adverb sadly there. Or you can say he exclaimed with sadness, no problem. Or he exclaimed sorrowfully. He exclaimed with sorrow. They are all right. He exclaimed sadly that he was undone. He said, "Bravo, you have done." Bravo is an expression of appreciation. Okay, you are congratulating somebody, applauding somebody. He applauded him, saying that he had done well. Alice said, "How clever I am! How clever I am!" At the end, exclamatory mark. So we can understand that it is an exclamatory sentence. How is used there? Not for asking any question here, but for indicating to what extent Alice is clever here. Okay. So look at there. And when you change into indirect speech, what happens to that how? That how should be changed into very. Look at that. Alice exclaimed that she was very clever. So look at the next one. Caesar said, "What a beautiful flower it is!" Exclamatory sentence only. What is used there? Not for asking any question. What is used for to express to what extent the flower is beautiful only. So in the place of what, we had to use very in the indirect speech. Caesar exclaimed that it was a very beautiful flower. Full stop only. That means exclamatory mood is changed into a statement. At the end, a full stop only now. Remember that. Don't put exclamatory mark again. So I think it is clear to you. He said to him, "How nice of you." She exclaimed that he was very nice. They said, "Hurrah, we won." They exclaimed triumphantly, that means victoriously, that they had won or they'd won. Both are right. So my dear students, to a certain extent, I think you have understood direct and indirect speech. Please listen to it again and again. Just the general idea only I have given. Some exercises I will upload later on. Okay, please listen to it. It is very important if you want to be perfect in English. Thank you.